Hello, fellow warriors against consensus reality and lovers of knowledge and wisdom. It's video time again, and hasn't it been an interesting ride? I think it's this global scamdemic, i.e. an exercise in global totalitarian control. Because those of you who've been paying attention by now realise that it's not about a virus. And it has been an interesting exercise in taking back one's control, really. Because, especially now where I live, they have now, after almost a year, brought in mandatory masks, right? And those of us who do share a mutual love of being awake have realised that it's far more effective and more smarter to appear to be a good little obedient gobshite while having what one lovely person, the owner of one of my favourite cafes, said the other day, and of course I sort of helped her coin the phrase, the underground cultural revolution. Kind of similar. We were discussing this the other day, and we found parallels between those like-minded individuals who are not sheep and the underground cultural movements of World War II during the height of the Nazi book burning. And of course now, instead of Adolf Hitler, you have Bill Gates. Are they going to start wearing brown shirts too? I mean, we're talking about a computer geek who is in charge of global health. Just stop and consider that sobering fact for a moment. We're talking about a man who wants to remove 6 billion people from the world's population. The same man who is developing a so-called, quote-unquote, vaccine. Are all of you gobshites really willing to put your health in such a man's hands? Yes, I know my video is probably going to be taken down after this, and my little 43 sub channel is going to be removed. But you know what? Fuck it. Someone needs to speak the truth. I've had enough of being surrounded by cowardly pussies. I really am. It's been a very, very, very challenging few days since the institution of the mandatory mask. And for me, the most challenging thing is not that in itself, but the reaction of the sheep, who consider themselves to be awake and informed because they're mindlessly guzzling down the mainstream media propaganda and not daring to, wait for it, question anything. Because apparently now they're using everybody now of the above mentioned to cover their own deep insecurities and their own deep-seated cowardice, feel the need to shame others who do question by calling them tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists, not knowing that they're mindlessly carrying on the same propaganda since JFK. If anyone back then dared to question his death, the propaganda machine came up with a shaming tactic: conspiracy theorist. No, it just means you're not a sleeping cunt. It means you actually have two brain cells to be able to rub together and actually question the people who actually have proven time and time again to not have our highest good at heart. Logical, right? Well, that's what happens when you are a slave to the other propaganda machine, to the other propaganda or technique called materialism/atheism. Yes, let's sort of consider let's take away their power by making them think that the five senses are all that exist. Let's give them some figurehead materialist idiot heroes like Dogma Dawkins, and they'll start to mindlessly parrot that to appear clever and intelligent, because they don't want to appear what they actually are: clueless, brain-dead, sleeping gobshites. And of course, you've got to love ego mind for that. So after much trial and error since this mandatory mask bullshit, I found the most comfortable option. A really cool looking skull bandana. And it's a face covering. It stipulates a face covering that is a face covering. That's good enough. I put it on just before I enter the shopping centre and take it off the moment I get out. However, most people just keep the mask on, even when they're outside, even when they're in their own fucking car. Do you keep... I have a question for you idiots. Do you even wear your mask in the shower? I'm pretty sure half of you probably do. And these are the people that are reproducing ladies and jelly beans, right? Think about that for a moment. And when you go through periods of inner rage, you have to feel the rage. You do, otherwise you're not awake, you're not alive. And when you deal with the inner rage and you channel it, and you once again enter the realm of your inner peaceful loveliness, right? You realize that you are allowing, quote unquote, them, convenient term that, I have to say, to affect your state of mind. And of course, they want you to react negatively to everything, because that fucks up your own sense of inner being and your equilibrium. And it makes you ill physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and that's exactly what they want. They want a whole population of angry, fearful, negative gobshites, and that's exactly what they're getting for the most part. Except for a handful of people who actually dared to question, who actually realise that now more than ever, creativity is the key. Creativity is and imagination are the ammunition and the weapons for the silent revolution. Yeah, no, you don't go out on the streets protesting. Protesting does absolutely fuck all. Or engaging with the system. No, that's... The card game is rigged. The house always wins. We already have established that. You can only change yourself. And when you connect with people, like-minded people who are also in the process of focusing on changing themselves and engaging in imagination and creativity, well, guess what? You've got the beginnings of a parallel society right under their noses. See, because this whole sort of let's remove ourselves from mainstream society and find a nice bit of land somewhere and have our own little commune, yeah, that didn't work in the 60s. It's not going to work today. Because human ego mind is going to get in the way no matter who you are, no matter how good you are, no matter how transcendentally, what a transcendental good little fucking gobshite you are. That doesn't work. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about engaging in our revolution of imagination and creativity right under their noses. Right in the local cafe, which is frequented by by like-minded people. In the mall, in a normal town, surrounded by sleeping, clueless, breeding gobshites. That's the scary thing about all this. These idiots are the ones who are breeding, who are reproducing. Let that sink in for a moment again. What are they actually passing on to this next generation? That's a fucking scary thought. So no, it's not about, oh, let's go black pill and let's just watch all the system destroy and we'll just sit back and what? Laugh like Nelson from The Simpsons? You think that makes you cool and edgy? No. Reclaiming and championing the cause of individualism, imagination, creativity. That's the biggest punch in the face you can give these idiots. To appear to be one of them and yet being totally different. As mystics going back thousands of years would say, and no, this is another thing that the Christians stole. Surprise, surprise. To be in the world but not of the world. That's the key here. And don't bother engaging with these people in conversation because they're just going to parrot the brain dead propaganda crap they've heard on from the mainstream machine. They're clueless. There's no intelligence there. They're just parroting the shit. Even my own brother, my own older brother. Oh, there is a dangerous virus. Oh yeah? Says who? The World Health Organization? Yeah, they're the bastions of truth, aren't they? Uh-huh. Bill Gates? One of the biggest psychopaths in the world? You're kidding, aren't you? I mean, fuck, he couldn't even get Windows right. That's one thing that the Mac people have over him. Okay? Even though Macs are totally useless for gaming. But as far as operating systems go, yeah, they have it all over that clueless gobshite. But I digress. So really, the only thing you should be focusing on is engaging in imagination and creativity. Disconnecting from the purposely fucked up system, whether it be any part of modern society, including dating women. Don't get me started on modern women. Jeez. Purposely being brainwashed by feminism to turn them into divisive gobshites. That's what it is. It's divide and conquer, baby. That's what this bullshit is all about. It's got nothing to do with empowering women. And that's also why I'm convinced something like MGTOW is taken over and used as a mechanism of division. Yes, there are men out there who wish to speak and enjoy hanging out with like-minded men. That's actually what real MGTOW community is all about. And meanwhile, you have fake life coaches. Yes, I'm talking about you, Cuck Eli. Yes, I mentioned his name. Who actually, to this day, days ago, go on and on and on about the manosphere and MGTOW and how these men are incels and angry and bitter and blah 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 blah. No, we're just sick of the shit. We're sick of the modern female shit. We don't want to fight them. We don't want to attack them. We just wish to, wait for it, be left alone. Some of us have been monk for over 12 years. Damn proud of that, actually. Some of us have stopped chasing vagina and worshipping at the great golden idol of vagina for over 12 years. And I can't tell you the sense of pleasure that gives me when I see these women trying their very occasional kind of extra smiley, possibly flirty routines, and here is me totally non-engaging. And the momentary look of shock on their faces. I'm sorry, I'd rather spend $4,600 on a new Gretsch guitar, which I'm absolutely loving, by the way. I'd rather focus on my inner journey really enjoying my esoteric philosophy studies, actually. And how to incorporate paganism and heathenism into this modern world where I am and the circumstances where I find myself. I'm fucking loving it. So the fact that these kind of terminologies have been coined, manosphere, red pill, blue pill, shows me that even MGTOW has been taken over and tried to use as a mechanism of control, which is why many of us have actually disconnected and left that community on YouTube. It's that simple. Meanwhile, you have incel fake life coaches. Yes, I'm talking about you, cunt Eli, again. Northern California. If I fucking hear that one more time, seriously. I had those kind of shoulders when I was, 13. Who has no idea, who spends all his time... Yes, I'm talking about one specific person. He is above all the other people I used to talk about on my old main channel. He is one of the most effective tools of teaching material I've ever come across on YouTube. Who goes after woman on online dating, which anyone with half a brain can tell him that's not going to work. But because he's total incel, just really wants a relationship, but is having trouble finding one, even though he thinks he's an alpha. Yes, there are those kind of clueless people who was never part of... I'll be fair, even though I'm not really part of the MGTOW community online, even though I'm proudly monk and all that kind of crap. Most of 99.99% of the MGTOW guys that I've spoken to during my time on YouTube have never even heard of the dopey gobshite. And yet he claims to be part of MGTOW community and these men are this and that. No, they just wish to be left alone. They don't want to be part of the stupid, idiotic... They see the whole dating game for what it is, stupid, clueless and alien, and wish to be left alone. And to hang out and enjoy hanging out with like-minded men. That's it, nothing more, nothing less. We don't hate women. We don't want them dead. We're not misogynist. We just want to be left alone. It's that simple. To pursue guitar and literature and music and writing and all the other wonderful pursuits that a person should, could and would be doing right now, instead of pursuing the worshipping at the altar of the great golden vagina. I mean, okay, let's look at it logically. Okay, after a few moments of pleasure, then what? In the immortal words of Sonny from the film Grease, so what are you supposed to do with them for the other 23 hours and 45 minutes of the day? Yes, I am joking. But there's a kernel of truth in that. This is a time to actually enjoy your solitary journey, and to enjoy other people who are enjoying their own solitary journeys, and connecting with like-minded men and women who feel the same, who are not brainwashed by this fucking propaganda machine. If you do find people like that, if you do find women like that, hang on to them, especially if they love metal and love cooking. That's very rare. You have any fucking idea how rare that is? And those men who have been very fortunate to find such women are very fortunate indeed. Especially when they encourage, I've been told, they're meant to buy the next new guitar. That's even more rare. What's the old saying? As rare as hen's teeth. So, as before I wrap this up, it's probably longer than usual. You who are still here, you're fucking legends. The above mentioned, one of my favourite cafes is, I will name the cafe, Book Cafe in town. She's actually changing the name to Red Pill Cafe, which I found incredibly interesting. Changing the focus of the cafe and bringing in various people who pursue various disciplines to ply their craft, as well as providing a cafe space. And even, what did you say, talks and things like that, which is fantastic. I was excited. So I will keep you posted on that. Be well, be safe, be wise, question everything. The Mind Traveller on guitar. Oh,